Good evening, everybody. Let's just tidy that up a bit and let's just get sorted there. But my computer's telling me it's got no internet connection, and yet I've got an internet connection on my phone. So anyway, welcome to Saturday night's broadcast. Hi, Tegan. Saturday night's broadcast, and it is Saturday the 24th of November. Yes, I thought I'd be a unicorn today, and I just have no idea why my computer's telling me it's not got an internet connection. I don't understand. It says it's connected, and then it says it's not got a connection. So I'm doing good. I'm doing very well, thank you. Hi, Angela. So yes, so for any of you coming in, welcome. If you're coming in on the live, and if you're coming on the replay, for those on the replay, this is being recorded on Saturday the 24th of November 2018. Hi, Janet. Just having a few issues with the computer. It's telling me there's no internet, and yet I've got it says at the side it's connected. So again, I really don't know what's going on here. So I can't look at the screen. Have I done restart? I've done whatever I need to do, and it's not doing. If I switch my computer off, it's likely not to ever come back on again. So I don't switch it off. I just fiddle about with it. Anyway, I'm not going to fuff with that, because if it doesn't want to work, it doesn't want to work, and that's it. I'm not going to waste all evening, all the time trying to get it to start. Anyway, today my plans didn't quite work, so we weren't on plan A. Now, why doesn't that surprise anybody? Plan A doesn't usually work, does it? Although it has known to work sometimes. So, plan A was that I was going to stay at home this morning. Oh no, I was going to stay at home this morning, and then I was going to have to go to Poundland. If you remember last night, I told you that I'd bought some lights to go on my lilac lil trolley, because I was supposed to be going into Newport tonight to live stream the carnival. And so in order to get the lights working, I was going to have to go back to Poundland in Ryde, get them changed, and then go into Newport. Well, part way through the afternoon, I got a message to say that it wasn't too late in the afternoon. It was quite early on. And I got a message to say that the carnival had been cancelled. And so I thought, oh, well, I don't need to go. And in that case, I don't even need to go to Poundland today, because I was getting these sorted for the carnival. And if I wasn't going to the carnival, I didn't have to go out and get the lights sorted today. I could do that another day. Well, today is family celebrations in my family. I mean, this week seems to have had an awful lot of birthdays in it. About 5 people I know had birthdays yesterday. And today it was my son's 43rd birthday. My son Toby, my firstborn child, Toby. It was his birthday. It is still his birthday, obviously, because it's still time. And it's my sister's 70th birthday today. But we did the birthday celebrations back in September. So today it was just ringing up the birthday people and having a chat. So I rang Toby. I think, did I ring Toby? Yeah, I rang Toby, that's right. I rang him first, and we did a FaceTime call. That's so lovely, isn't it, that you can actually do FaceTime calls these days. I can remember way back when I was fairly newlywed, and my husband said to me, do you know, one day you'll be able to see the people that you're talking to on the phone. And I sort of thought, maybe you will, maybe you won't, I don't know. But actually, of course, now you can actually ring on FaceTime or different methods and see the people you're talking to. And the technology has moved so fast. I mean, who'd have ever thought that one day, way back then, that I'd be sitting here doing broadcasts at 10 o'clock at night, and lots of you lovely people coming in. So anyway, because I hadn't got to rush off and do those things, I was able to have long conversation with my son. Well, no, I had a fairly short conversation first, actually, because he had to cut me off because he'd got somebody coming to fit a heater, and he had to go and cover up in case, put the dust sheets on. So he was gonna ring me back. So anyway, I rang my sister then and had a long chat with my sister. And while I was chatting to my sister, my son tried to get hold of me, but I finished my conversation with my sister, and then I rang Toby back. Well, Toby solved the problem of my lights, because I said to him, when I put them in the power pack, they don't work. I said, am I doing anything wrong? And he said, plug in the phone to the power pack, look, which I've got done. And he said, and then plug in the lights. So hang on. So plug in the light. Whoops. Now wait a minute. Now they they did work just now. Let's see. Let's give it another go. Whoops. Hang on. Oh, well. Just now when I did it, they worked. So I don't know. I don't know what I've done wrong, because they did work. They worked when the phone was plugged in. So I oh dear, back to the drawing board. But as they did work from the power pack when the phone was plugged in, but I don't know quite, maybe the phone's not properly plugged in. Let's have another go. Let's see. Because this was, oh, now I'm mystified, because I did have lights working just now. But so he said that sometimes, you know, if you put the power into the power pack from the phone, it then actually makes it work. But, this is not, it's not playing the game. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, back to the drawing board. I'll have another go at that later on. So my lights are still not working. They were working. They were working just now. They worked earlier in the day when Toby told me how to do that. So anyway, we'll sort that one out. I mean, it's £1. They cost me £1. If I don't get to the bottom of it, it's not like, you know, a small fortune. Mind you, yes, it is probably to a pensioner, and I am a pensioner, but actually no, I'm not going to waste hours and hours on that. So what I have been doing today, I stayed home, and when the rain was beating down on my dormer windows, which are up the top here, I was so glad to be in the warm. And then, you know, I found out that there were other things going on in Newport, but actually I decided that I wasn't going over there because I didn't really fancy going out in the cold and the rain. As I haven't been well recently, I thought I really ought to, you know, just keep myself in check, because I got so many things coming up. So many people keep messaging me, can you do this? Can you come here? Can you promote this? And I don't mind, as long as I'm well enough to do it and I don't run myself ragged. So I did some knitting today. And my knitting was a bit like this. Okay, so I put a picture up and got people to guess, and somebody guessed it was spaghetti, and somebody guessed it was a poodle. Of course, what it actually was here's one I made earlier. So it's actually a sheep. But it hasn't got ears on yet. I'm going to put ears on because at the moment it looks like a white hedgehog. When I first did it, it looked so like a hedgehog. It's got little feet on the bottom, so it looks less like a white hedgehog now. But I've got to make 10 of these. And I've done, hi Steve, I could have done with some magic earlier, Steve, because I was making this, somebody wants 10 of these. And she asked me much earlier in the year, and I promised I would get them done for her for Christmas. So I thought I'd better get on with it. Now, there's lots of different patterns there for sheep, but I rather fancied the loopy ones, you know, with the loopy pattern. But although I knitted a loopy coat for one of my children years ago, I'd totally forgotten how to make a loop stitch. Thank goodness for YouTube, folks, because I went on YouTube to have a look to see how to do the stitch. Well, the first one I couldn't work. You know, sometimes there's people who present on YouTube, aren't there, much better than others, or you can get it much better with one person than another. Well, I think I went through about 5 YouTube channels before I found somebody, because some people were working, you know, mainly on the left hand side. I think some of some of the, I think somebody said the European way or the American way was that. And I just couldn't get it. And several of them were doing it in different ways. And I thought, my goodness, I've got to work out a way that I can do this without spending all day making one little sheep, because I got 10 of them to do. I got 10 ponies. I've got some, the snowman hats and scarves for the Care in the Garden project. I've got some things I want to do for myself and 1 or 2 other bits that I promised people earlier in the year. So I've got a lot of catching up to do. And so I wanted to find something that I could do fairly quickly. Anyway, I eventually found a YouTube where the lady did it in a very easy way. And so actually, look, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a demonstration. Not that you can see very much, and I've got an odd pair of knitting needles. They're both the same. They're the same size in diameter of the needle, but I've lost the other little one to go with this, so I've had to find a longer one that's the same size. So let's show you. So the first stitch is I'm just going to knit that one, and then this is how it went. You put your needle in, you go round. Whoops! Now I'm going to probably forget it. No. You start. You do half a stitch like you would normally do. Not that you're all knitters, but anyway, I just thought I'd just give a little demo. So then I'm going to put this needle on here. I'm going to bring the wool round here, and then I have to use my thumb to make the loop. Oh, and it's not going well because I'm doing it in front of camera. There we go. And then I need to stitch that and just pull this. I know you can't see, but there you go. Stitch it over. So actually, it didn't take me as, and when it goes properly and I'm not trying to do it in front of camera, then it goes very well. And there's Matt just coming in, and Matt is very disappointed because yours in stitches. Jolly good. I'm glad it's making you laugh. So what do you think? Do you think it's a white hedgehog, or do you think it looks like a sheep? When I did it, as I say, I thought it looked like a hedgehog, but actually I don't want any rudery because I'm sure it looks quite like a sheep. It's got to have some ears, so I'm going to make some little ears, and when the little ears are sticking out, I think it will look more like a sheep, don't you? So anyway, so that's what I've been. Hi Sandy, that's what I've been amusing myself with, and now we're getting some amusing people, making jokes there about being in stitches, etc. So there we go. I love it when you bring. I used to do Saturday night as laughter with Lynn. I'm glad you like it. It's a lovely sheep. Thank you, Janet. You are my friend. In fact, you're all my friends. Spaghetti sheep. That's right. Yes. Well. Oh, I haven't got my earrings on. Nobody's told me off for not having my earrings on. I usually get told off if I don't have my earrings on. Well, I put them on. Got to have sparkle. Oops, let's see if I can get them on while I'm talking on camera. Whoa. Pink. Are we pink? Yes, pink tonight. I got distracted because I was just getting ready to come on camera. Because I will tell you, I've been in my PJs all day, and I thought, I'll get dressed for the camera. Sometimes I come in my dressing gown. You've seen me in my dressing gown, but I thought, no, I can't put them in. I can only put one in because I haven't got the back of the other one. Oh no. Okay. Oh well, we either have one earring or we have no earrings because I can't. Oh my goodness me. Lost the back. I think they might be in the other room. There we are. Okay, it'll make it a bit. I'll be lopsided now. My head will go like this because I got one earring and not the other one. Perhaps I'll take this one out. We won't have earrings today. We'll have a no earring day. We got a unicorn instead. Do unicorns wear earrings? I'm not sure if they do. Anyway, so I was quite enjoying doing this, and it didn't take me that long, but as I say, while I was doing it, I like to tease people as to what I'm making, and Margaret felt it looked like spaghetti, a plate of spaghetti, and then I told her that I'd actually made a plate of spaghetti and some meatballs, and she said, why didn't that surprise her? And I think that's a very fair and valid comment, don't you, people who know me well. Hi Tracy. Oh, Tracy, let me just show you. And Mark asked me to share an event, and I would give you no earrings on a unicorn. Right, okay, so we've got no earrings then. And you know what? We've only still got half a sign that says have fun with GoLiveGranny, because last night, of course, the mischievous elf. I had a lot of problems with elves yesterday. I had mushrooms bags splitting and the mushrooms going all over the floor. I had all sorts of things going on today, and I reckoned it was yesterday, and I reckoned it was the mischievous elf. And of course, I've only got half a sign up. Brilliant, Janet. Janet's just telling me that Leanne had a good day at the card fair. She was off. She'd made lots of handmade cards, and she's had a good day at the fair. I'm really pleased about that, Janet. I bet she's tired, but you know. Anyway, so today I haven't even bothered because I showed you last night. This is, you know, it fell on I think the elf threw it off the shelf because the elf wanted to sit on the shelf, threw it off the shelf, and the letters are still scattered across the floor. And but there's some other things on the floor, so they're scattered amongst newspapers and things down here. So I must try and get that sorted later on because I really ought to put it back, oughtn't I? Very tired, I bet. Yes, I used to do all those shows and things, and I know what it's like. So we only have we go live. That's what it says. So we're a bit you know, a bit of a confusing message there, but I'll get that sorted. But you know, the elves are about at the moment. So let's just see. I'm going to have another try if my lights are going to work. Let's see if they will. Because no, they're not working. I don't know why that is. I know why it is. It's because the battery's dead. Why is it? That's why it's not working. Let's plug the battery in, shall we? I didn't realise. Oh, it is. No, it is. The battery isn't dead. Well, that's really strange. Yeah. So as I saw Tracy come in there. Tracy, it was disappointing, wasn't it, that we didn't have the carnival. Matt came in. They're all people involved with the carnival, and it was such a shame that there was no carnival. But I have found out that it was a shame, Tracy. It was a shame, but I didn't mind staying in the warm and the dry all day. So, you know, I'm refreshing and recharging. But yes, it was disappointing. But I understand that there's a carnival, there's a parade next week in Ventnor. I didn't know that. I knew there were things going on in Ventnor, but I didn't know there was a parade. Hi, Jane. And I watched Jane do a live stream today. So I don't know whether you've done live streams before, Jane, but that was brilliant. I saw your live stream, but I didn't actually know what you were doing a fundraiser, I know, but I didn't actually know what you're fundraising for. So Jane, let me know what you're fundraising for, and then I can, you know, spread the word as well. I know you did a fundraiser today, but if you're doing more fundraising, let me know, because, you know, all these things I like to share. Now, I would share Mark Evans has come in the broadcast, and there's Mark. If you can put a link to anything, Mark, in the chat box, please do, because I can't pull up. At the moment, my computer's telling me there's no internet connection, which is it's telling me fibs, because there is an internet connection. Down here it says it's connected to the internet, and up there it says no internet. So I really don't know, and I can't get your post up to refer to people. Mark, I can do it on my phone later, and I have shared it. I think I've shared it already. And if not, I will make sure I do. I don't mind, but I'm being bombarded with a lot of people asking me to share a lot of things. So I'm trying to make sure that I get everything shared out that everybody needs shared out. If anybody wants me to share things, you know, my internet. It's fine, Tegan. It's the computer that's playing up. Right, Jane has got some bits left from today. If a charity would like to collect them from her, well, that's nice. So Jane, we got two Janes there. So that's if you connect, that would be nice, because they've had some stuff left over from today, and so that's, you know, that looks like one charity is going to benefit from what's left over from another charity. That's really good. I love to see all that stuff going on, and you're all sharing it in the chat box. So anyway, what was I saying? I've forgotten what I was saying. What else have I been up to today? As I say, I was doing a lot of knitting. I know. Like yesterday, I was when I was talking about the mushrooms and things going all over the floor, I'd bought some things to make soup, and I'd bought some parsnips because I was saying, yes. If you were in the broadcast last night, you'd have heard me say I went to Barrow Boys, and Barrow Boys often have loads of fruit and veg in bowls or outside their shop, and they were £1 a bowl, and so that meant that I was going to make some parsnip soup. and some mushroom soup. Well, I've had some of the mushrooms because I had a mushroom omelette last night. I haven't finished the rest of the mushrooms. I might make soup. I might do some soup after the broadcast. But I decided with the mushrooms, actually not the mushrooms, with the parsnips, instead of doing parsnip soup, I decided to roast the parsnips. And I put some nice herbs and spices on them. At that point, my computer was working and I could find a nice recipe on the internet for that. So I roasted some parsnips. I do love parsnips. Now, my daughter would run a mile. She hates parsnips, but I love parsnips, especially roasted parsnips. So the parsnips are all gone that I got yesterday. But you know, they were almost at the end of their life, so I had to do something quickly with them. So you know, and making soup, you know, it was only more recently that I actually learned that soup doesn't come out of a tin or a packet. All my life it had come out of a tin or a packet, and then when I changed my diet to take out the grain, Tina, who'd helped me with changing my diet, she's taught me to make soup. It's not difficult, but I've never actually done it. I've never enjoyed spending hours and hours in the kitchen. I'm actually enjoying it more now. Hi Louise, more now, and just fiddling about and trying new things. And there's so many easy recipes on the internet. And of course, I can access the internet on my phone, but I can't do that now because I'm talking to you. But normally, you know, I'm talking to you on the phone and watching the comments on here. Fortunately, I can see the comments coming up on the phone, but it's usually easier to see it on the computer. Well, there is a possibility that somebody is thinking of sponsoring a computer for me. So we could be, you know, don't count our chickens yet or count our sheep. We can count our sheep. We've got one and a bit. Whoops, 1 and a bit sheep, all right? That's, you know, so I've got another 8 and a half to do sheep. So we will count sheep, and you know, when we get to 10 I might have fallen asleep. So you know, because that's what you do, isn't it? If you can't sleep, count the sheep. So at the moment we've got 1 sheep, so we're getting there, you know, getting there bit by bit. But I'm really, really pleased that I cracked that loop stitch by using YouTube. And you know, I've been talking to people about YouTube because, as some of you will know, I was talking about it the other day, and people not using it and not understanding why it's so powerful. And so I've been talking to quite a few people about YouTube, and they all just go and search on YouTube for, you know, whatever they want. And today, what did I just put in how to do knitting, how to do loops. I put how to do knitting loop stitch or something like that, and then all these YouTube channels came up with showing me how to do the loop stitch. So I got it sorted, and there we are. There's my first little sheep. And so and I really, really enjoy my knitting. I enjoy knitting. I wouldn't enjoy making big jumpers and things like that. I used to make them for my children. Well, not big jumpers, little jumpers. And I used to make the tank tops. Hi, Margaret. Oh, Margaret, you just come in. Look, the finished article. It was Margaret who thought I was knitting spaghetti or a poodle. It's not. It's a sheep, but it looks a bit like a white hedgehog. But when it's got ears, I'm sure it will look like a sheep. And the recipient, the person who's asked for them, she seemed to like the look. Oh, actually, I don't know whether she saw the finished article, but she saw it when it was underway. So I must send her a picture of when I've put the ears on. And I'm just debating whether to put a little white ears, or whether to little white felt ears, or whether to try and knit some ears. I didn't have a pattern, but actually, I took this pattern out of the nativity set. I love it. I did it from the nativity set. My daughter gave me this last year, and this has a story to it. She gave me this, and it was in a pack with wool and the pattern. And I started knitting this, and they were the wool that came with it. Pink little ears on sheep. No, actually, I think mostly they're white ears. I don't think they're pink. I think cats and things like that have pink, don't they? I'm not sure that sheep do. I'm going to do white ears on mine anyway. But also I'm going to ask you a question anyway now in a minute about colours of sheep. But what was I going to say? That donkey, look, the donkey's got pink ears. But anyway, so my daughter gave me this a few weeks before Christmas last year as a pack. And she said, Mum, can you knit this before Christmas? Took her all year on and off. Oh, right, yeah. So anyway, she asked me if I would knit this up before Christmas. So I started, and of course, in between all the other things I do. And actually, the characters on this came out quite big. Oh, actually, I don't know whether they did. Because in the end, what happened, the wool in the pack that went with this was not very good quality wool at all. And there's some mistakes in the pattern, and it just became a disaster. So in the end, I used other wool, and I think I even used another nativity pattern. I'm trying to think which pattern I used. I've got to go through all my patterns and see, because I'm sure I used them. And when I knitted them, it might have been this. They came out huge. They look quite small, don't they? But whichever pattern I used, they were huge. I didn't get the whole set done. I thought, well, I'll start with Mary and Joseph and the baby, because if I don't get any more done, at least that's the main characters, So that's what I did. And I think I got a shepherd and a king done. I didn't get a sheep done last year. So maybe if I knit an extra one, I can give that one to my daughter. But of course, it's going to be a bit of a legacy, but of course she's got 4 children. So really, I suppose over the years, I need to make 4 of them so the children end up with 1 each. But when I was thinking today, I went on Pinterest, I was looking, she couldn't... Yeah, absolutely. Margaret, that's what happens sometimes. You have to do it a different way. I'm going to have to look here to get the shoot. Yeah, sometimes you have, and if you're quite experienced as a crafter, there's always another way to do it, So I find that if I can't do something one way, I can do it another way, because I've done lots of craft over the years. Anyway, so I what am I saying? I think I abandoned this and used a different pattern. Yes, because I'd started and I'd made Mary and Joseph. Look, there they are. I'd made them, or started to make them, but it was all, yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. I cannot believe, Margaret, that I have got to the age I've got without ever knitting a nativity set, I'd always thought about it and thought, oh, no, I can't be bothered. But because she asked me, it was more special, because it was special for her, and she wanted something, that lived on with the family and that, and would always remind her of me. I don't intend to go anywhere anytime soon, but if I'm not here any time in the future, they've got a bit of me in the knitting, and so I've got some plans too to do some little bits for the children as well. But what I was going to say, yes, so I abandoned it and just used my own wool, and I now remember I did a different pattern. I found another pattern and I knitted it up, and so they've got, as I say, they've got part of it, but they've got the main characters. But when I was looking for a sheep pattern, I went on Pinterest. I made a sheep before out of another pattern. I got so many pattern books, and there's lots and lots of different things there. And I found a sheep in one of my pattern books, and I made it up. But it wasn't very exciting. It wasn't very interesting. It was more bold. It wasn't all curly like this, and I wasn't very keen. And I think that's well, she's 80s, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's lots of knitters in older older people knitting, but actually now knitting's coming back, and some younger people are learning to knit, and younger people are asking me to teach them to knit. So that's nice. I'm more than happy to do that. So what was I going to say? Something about, I was talking about this, and then yes, the sheep pattern, and I didn't like that one, and it's probably why I hadn't done the sheep. But thinking, I promised this lady some months ago that I would do them for Christmas, and so I thought, better get on with it, otherwise it'll be Christmas Eve, and I'll be, I've done that before, been finishing people's orders on Christmas Eve. Anyway, so that's not going to happen. So I found, so what I did, I went on Pinterest and looked, because Pinterest is, for those of you who don't know, it's lots and lots of virtual pin boards on the internet, and people pin all sorts of things. So, you know, I look all over and find patterns, or, you know, if you wanted to make recipes, you could search recipes and then make a pin board of your own. So, for example, when I'm looking all around other people's Pinterest boards, I will find Christmas knitting patterns. And I might search free Christmas knitting patterns, because we like the free word, especially if you're doing it for charity. You know, it's good. So I find what I like, and then I make a pin board of my own. So I've got pin boards for things like Christmas knitting. I might have one for what else did I have? Oh, I've got one for knitted food, because I was, as lots of you will have seen, I was knitting food earlier in the year, and different things like that. I also have things, you know, to do with like GoLiveGranny. So I've got pin boards of things to do with the Isle of Wight. I've got pin boards where I will put my live streams, you know, my videos and my live streams on there. So it's a phenomenal platform, Pinterest. So if you don't know it and you're looking for anything that you know, all sorts of things, then go there. Yeah, actually, my Pinterest is, if you put in, you probably find it if you put in GoLiveGranny, Tegan, I think. But if you can't find it, I'll send you the link afterwards. And so I really couldn't find a sheep pattern I liked, and I didn't really want to start buying patterns, you know, just for one sheep. Well, no, 10 sheep, but 10 sheep the same. So I then remembered, of course, that the nativity set would have a sheep in it. And so that's what I did. But look at this. This sheep has got a black head and black feet. And I just thought, what's the difference between one with black, apart from the colour, what's the difference between one that's black face and black feet and one that's white? So I Googled it, because my best friends Google, and I thought, let's find out what this is all about, because I know nothing about different breeds of sheep, and, you know, I didn't want to be knitting the wrong sort of sheep. And actually, hi Jackie, and this sheep actually is, hi Anne, this is the wrong sort of sheep, because when I Googled sheep with black faces, so black sheep, it came up as a Scottish sheep. And I thought, well, if it's in a nativity, hope you're feeling better, Jackie. If it's in a nativity, it wouldn't be from Scotland, I wouldn't have thought. Oh, hang on. Now, what's going on here? Wait a minute. Now, my phone's saying we've got a low battery, and yet I've got it plugged in. Wait a minute. Let me sort it out. Otherwise, we'll chop off. I've got it plugged into my battery pack, but my battery pack maybe is telling me fibs. So, wait a minute. Let's plug it into the power. Whoops. Hang on. Let's plug us into the power. Right, we're plugged into the power now. So hopefully you will stay there and won't disappear. Now, Jackie's just come in to the broadcast, and poor Jackie came to the island for the weekend, and we met up. We had a lovely evening on Thursday, and then we were supposed to meet up this afternoon to go to the carnival, but of course the carnival was cancelled. But I don't think Jackie would have been going to the carnival with me, because she was poorly. She came to the island for a lovely weekend and she became poorly. But it was her birthday yesterday, so I'm going to sing happy birthday to her now, and you can all join in as well. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Jackie, happy birthday to you. And hope you're feeling my sign. Yes. No. Oh, you missed last night. Last night I was talking. So sorry for those of you in the broadcast who already heard this. Last night I had all sorts of things going wrong, Jackie. I had picked up a paper bag of mushrooms, and the bottom split and they all fell out the bottom all over the floor. I picked up another bag and they all did the same. I went to the fridge and a box of mushrooms fell out of there. So there wasn't mushroom in the fridge. Oh, sorry. And then what else happened? Various other things happened. And this fell down and the letters all went over the floor, and today I haven't even sorted them out to pick them up. I think the elves have been up to mischief. And if you can see that, what that sign says, I know it's back to front, but it says, naughty elves up to mischief, naughty elves up to mischief. And actually, I did my broadcast last night with this one on. But today I thought I'd be a unicorn, all right? Because I thought I'd had enough of elf mischief. So the elf obviously wanted to sit on the shelf, so he just pushed the sign off. So the sign, I will sort the sign out. Absolutely, I will sort the sign out. And Jackie, I don't know if you saw. I keep flashing this in front of the screen, but this is what I've been up to today. Instead of going to the carnival, I've started on the sheep. There we go. Very sheepish, feeling very sheepish. And look, this next one there. Whoops! Oh dear, my stitches have come off the end. I've lost the stitches off the end. Let me just put my knitting needle back in. There we go. That's it. So now, whoops, now I've got my knitting wool. I've got my knitting wool wrapped around, oh, I always did, wrapped around my lights that I was showing you just now. So, whoops, hang on, let me sort it out. Oh, no, I shall end up knitting the cable of the lights instead of the wool. Oh, dear. This happens. I don't know. I think that elf's... Night, Janet. I think that elf's been up to mischief on my desk, and yet the elf was sitting behind me, and the wool is all... Sorry, folks. Just talk amongst yourselves while I just sort out my cable. Hang on. So I've got these lovely... Dear, oh dear. I think I might have to cut the wool. What a mess. My wool gets into all sorts of mess all the time. There we go. Whoops, I think I've done it. That's it. Sorted it out now. Hey, there we go. Right, so I'm going to see if the lights... I don't know if the lights... I'm fed up because my lights worked and then they didn't work, but... not to worry, at least the phone's working, so we'll worry about that later. Whoa, so wool and all that stuff. So, how was your day, everybody? Night, Anne. And Anne, are you coming in from Spain? I think Anne was living in Spain. I don't know if you're still there now. Anne, I met Anne on the Isle of Wight, but she and her husband have gone to live in Spain. I think that's probably where you are. She dips in and out sometimes. I see her there. What else have I got to tell? I'm just trying to think. Yes. Oh, one of the things that I was talking about last night was Aspire. I don't know. Let's see if I can get Facebook up again now, whether it's going to play or whether it's not. Hang on. You had to change track on your diamond paintings. Okie dokie. Let's have a look. Is it doing it? No, it still doesn't want to do it, but okay, not to worry. So, but I can tell you, Aspire, which is the church turned into a community centre, are appealing for items for Christmas dinner for the homeless. They're hoping to feed 50 people there. You love my headgear. I thought, well, as I say, last night I was an elf, and tonight I thought I'd go and be a unicorn. I've got a whole range of stuff down here. I've got my prop box down here with all my bits and pieces in. I've got quite a few things, Christmassy things, in my prop box that I will share with you over the coming weeks. And of course, it's a month. It's the 24th today. And as I say, it was my son's birthday, my sister's birthday today, Jackie's birthday yesterday. Other people I know had birthdays yesterday. I was singing to so many people. I sing to them in Messenger if I know it's their birthday. You know, I know I haven't got the most tuneful voice, but actually, you know, I just do it because I can. So, yes, 24th today. So it's only a month till Christmas Eve, isn't it? That's not very long. Not very long at all. Oh, you got lots of colours everywhere, right? Okay, that's it. So Tegan's talking about she does some lovely diamond pictures, and I first came across them at a craft fair in. That was great. Sorry, I've lost a track, Jackie. Because I'm thinking, sorry, what am I saying? No, the diamond things that Tegan's talking about, don't panic you. I've got confused now. I'm totally confused now. But what Tegan's talking about, she did some pictures where you put little diamonds on to make the picture. There's a print behind, and then you put these little diamonds on to make the picture up. And I first came across that with Moira. I don't think Moira is in the broadcast. She's a Facebook friend of mine, and a real friend. You know, we've met at a craft fair, and she actually sells those kits. So that's when I first came across them, when I was doing a live stream at a craft fair, and that's how I knew about it. 1 month. Oh, I see. Yes, sorry. That's right. Sorry. Yes, you've got a month. You know, you've got a whole month. That's like 30 days. Because of course November's only got 30 days, so it'll be 30 days, won't it? 1 month to Christmas. Absolutely. And you know what? I've got still a lot of knitting to do by then. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, better crack on with that. Anyway, but I just love it. You know, it's what I love to do. And I can do what I can do, and what I can't do won't get done. What I was saying earlier wasn't about I don't like knitting big jumpers and things like that. And I used to make things for my children when they were small. I used to make when the tank tops were very popular with the pictures on. You know, so the characters like Tom and Jerry and things like that, and I would make the different jumpers with the patterns on there. I've never worked without a pattern. I use a pattern. And yesterday somebody wanted me to knit something with the NHS Isle of Wight logo on it. Well, I can't design that, but I don't know if anybody else knows anybody who could design that, you know, so work it out like on a cross stitch pattern so I could knit it in. But if we can't do it that way, probably a good idea to knit the hats and scarves and then find somebody who could make the logo that I could stitch on afterwards. Oh, excuse me. Frog in the throat. And I don't think it was a frog that I knitted. I have got a frog I've been knitting. I haven't put it together yet. I've got a frog prince. And he's in bits and I must put him together. But, you know, if I kiss him, will he become a prince? Or will I? Who knows? But he needs to be put together first, because he would be a bit of a dysfunctional prince otherwise, wouldn't he? So, yes, so I have... One of the things I was supposed to be doing today was doing some knitting and do some tidying. And, you know, I favoured the knitting more than I favour the tidying. So is it any surprise? That's why I haven't sorted out all those letters and put the letters back up there. But I really do need to do that. Hi, Princess Lambert, because I have got... I've got, as I say, I keep saying, I've got all my craft stuff over there, and I need to find some more of the craft bits that I need to do. So, right, so that was that. I've got lots of events coming up that people need me to keep promoting. Tomorrow it's the Mountbatten Christmas Fair down at the hospice. I didn't know, I just picked that one up today. I hadn't seen that before. So much I don't see. If anybody's having events and they want me to promote them, it's easiest if you've got it as an event on Facebook, because if you have it as an event on Facebook, I can pin it to the Isle of Wight.live page, and I can pin it to my GoLiveGranny page, and it sits there and people can see all the events coming up. If it's just a poster and I put it up there, it scrolls down, you know, so when the next thing goes up, it pushes it down and you can't see it unless you keep resharing it. But, you know, so the most efficient way for me, and all sorts of people I don't know are coming in now because they've obviously noticed that I do a lot of sharing, and they just ask me. And I prefer people to ask. People who just plonk stuff on my page without asking, I just actually prefer them, you know, to ask. I usually say yes, but it's just quite nice, isn't it, if you ask. I tend to ask people if I want them to share something, rather than just plonk it on their page. Now, one of the things I will be sharing when this internet thing comes, when my computer sorts itself out, or when I finish the broadcast, Right, okay, look, oh, there's one coming in here now. Princess Lambert's saying they've got a Christmas fair on the 2nd of December at Oakfield Football Club from 11 till 3. Could you please tell everyone? I can. If you've got a poster or if you've got an event page, as I say, Princess Lambert, it makes it much, much easier for me. Because otherwise, and it makes it easier for the people who want to, that you're trying to attract. So if you can either send me, let me know where there's a Facebook page where I can send people, that would be good. Or even if there's just a poster, then let me have the poster. I'll share the posters, but they don't stay online as easily as the event pages, because I don't know if you know, but on Facebook you can add an event to a page and you can pin it to the page, so it's there. So if you go on my isleofwight.live page, you can see a whole list of events that are going on the island, but there's nowhere near as many as all the things going on the island because I haven't located them all. Next weekend you've got Osborne, the Victorian weekend at Osborne House, and I will be going with one of my viewers who I'm going to meet next weekend when she comes over to the island. We've had a telephone call, we've chatted a lot. When she comes over to the island next week, we are planning to go to the Victorian weekend at Osborne. I've never been before. I thought it was very expensive. This was my thinking, and I didn't follow it through. And but I'm a heritage member, and so you don't get it free. That's fine, Princess Lambert. You don't get it in free, but I think it's about £2.90 for me to go into the Victorian thing with my heritage card. And my heritage card, all the year, other than special events like that, I can go in for free. And I do go and live stream on there. I was live streaming in the rhododendron time, and then I've live streamed several times. And then the other day when Jackie and I were on a road trip, she drove into Osborne and round, and we did a little bit of live streaming and came out again. We didn't get out the car, but we live streamed the beauty of the grounds, and it's just lovely. And because Osborne House has all been cleaned up, it's even more beautiful now. So and it is a lovely place to go and visit, and well worth it if you've got a heritage card. So I go there in the summer. I go down there. I have a free bus pass and a free heritage card to get in. So it's a very cheap day for a poor old pensioner like me. And I go down there, and I've gone right down to the seafront where the Queen Victoria's changing. What do you call it? The car. Where she would change into her, I've lost my words. Where she would change into her whatever she went into the sea in, her bathing robes. And that's down on the seafront there. There's a cafe down there, and there's seats round there. It's lovely down there. And you don't have to walk all the way down. You can get a minibus goes down there, and a minibus goes to the Swiss cottage. But it's just well worth it. Anybody coming to the island. The bathing hut. Thank you, Jackie. I totally lost. My words just didn't come out. Thank you to all those who are telling me it was a bathing hut. Do you ever do that? I think, this is why some people never want to go on live, because they think they'll do that. They'll lose their words and whatever. But actually, those are things we all do, whether you're on camera or not. Lots of people just forget what they're going to say, and I just get over it. I think sometimes it gives you a bit more of a giggle when I forget what I'm saying. And one of the things I was quite excited about, and that I mentioned. What's today? Saturday. Yes, that I mentioned yesterday. Yesterday when I was at the Coffee Morning, and this is for people who weren't in last night's broadcast. I went to the Coffee Morning I go to with my brother, and I try and do knitting there, but last week I'd had a disaster and my knitting wool had all got muddled up, so the ladies there helped me unravel it. It got muddled up like it did just there on the table. How these things happen, I have no idea. Anyway, one of the ladies there said, are you going to do some knitting? And I said, oh yes, I'll get my knitting out in a minute. But then she saw my phone in the mount that I've got it on here now, and she said, what's all that? And the long story short, she and another lady sitting there were very interested in the live stream, and so we did a live stream yesterday, and I actually want to share that out a lot. I'm going to put it all over my internet platforms, because they were very keen to join my GoLiveGranny gang because on my own I can't get round all the events. And so I just thought that actually if I recruited some more grannies to do some live streaming, then wouldn't that be fun, having a lot of us? And you know, I think that's something a lot of people will pick up on, because it's just it's an example of showing that you're never too old to learn new things, and you're never too old to learn the new technology. And actually what was exciting was, one of the things I wanted to do is help older people. I know I'm in that older bracket myself, but there are a lot of people very scared of the internet, and you know, older people, they say, oh no, don't want to touch that. And yet if they knew the wonderful world that was out there, you know, so if they're housebound, and then they could look into things like the carnivals and whatever's done, or you know, people live streaming from abroad or whatever, it would take away lots of that loneliness of people just being housebound and not being able to get out. And so I'd wanted to do something of that, you know, I'd already got this idea in my head. And it was funny, I know I'm repeating myself a bit from last night, but not everybody was here last night. So these two ladies this side were very, very keen and came into my live broadcast, have made friends with me on Facebook, and have shared the broadcast we did last night. So we've now got their friends coming in, which is wonderful. So that was lovely, Anna and Barbara. And then the ladies the other side, when I said did they want to be in the broadcast, they were a bit like, no, we don't want to. But I think, again, it was a fear factor. And by the time we'd done our live stream and I'd finished and we were chatting, the ladies this side were more interested. And so it was just that, it was the fear of how you learn it. And I said, well, if you want to learn it, let's have some, I'll give you some lessons and just take it in baby steps. And so I think that the other ladies sitting at the table will become part of that group. I mean, they may not be grannies, it doesn't matter. You know, I say go live grannies. I mean, if there are a lot of grannies in the group, it will be, you know, it will be fun, because then we can have the Go Live Granny title. But I'm not going to exclude people who are not actually grannies. So you know, that's something that's growing. So watch this space and see what the Go Live Grannies are going to get up to. So hopefully there'll be lots more live streaming coming. But you know, it doesn't matter if you do fumble words or anything like that, nobody minds. And actually, I think when I do things like that, I think it gives people a giggle. You know, I hope it does, because that's my idea, is to inspire, to educate and to entertain. That's what I want to do. And I know that a lot of people have a giggle over what I do, and it just makes me laugh when I think of that guy. Several of you will have heard this story several times, but you know, when I first started videoing, I had somebody who, you know, I was when I look back at them, I was a bit like a rabbit in the headlights, you know, a bit scared myself, but I thought, actually I'm going to push the button and go for it, because I knew the power that could come. I didn't know how much power, but I knew there was power in it, and my son egged me on anyway. And but you know, I was told by somebody trying to bring me down, but actually he didn't succeed, because I was determined to do it. And he said, oh, I've seen your ridiculous little videos and you're the laughing stock. And you know, I just said, oh, thank you so much for watching my videos. You know, I know you're a busy person. And I said, I'm glad I'm making people laugh, because laughter's the best medicine. And that still retains now. You know, a day without laughter is a day wasted. So if you can do anything, you know, to make yourself laugh. I have had some really dark days, you know, through my life, but every time I have managed to find something to make me laugh. And these days, of course, the beauty of now and the internet is that you can find laughter over there. Either you can find me doing something daft in a previous broadcast, or go on and find the comedians, because that, you know, that's what I do. I mean, I'm not in a bad place now. I'm in a really good place now, having had, you know, a long dark tunnel, but I've come out of it. And I'm in a good place, but I still keep up the laughter, because it releases the endorphins. It makes you feel good when you laugh. And if you then giggle and laugh with other people, that's, you know, you bounce off each other. And so, you know, as I say, a day without laughter is a day wasted in my book. So don't forget, you know, go out and find all those funny people. There's so many. I mean, what are your favourite? Who are your favourite funnies? Hi, Ruby. How are you? Hope you've had a good day. Don't know what you've been up to, but over here it's been pouring with rain and the carnival was cancelled. But not to worry, I stayed dry and I've been doing some knitting. So folks, who are your favourite comedians? I'm a unicorn tonight. I thought I'd be a unicorn. Last night I was an elf. Tonight I'll be a unicorn. Who can guess what I'll be tomorrow? I don't even know what I'm going to be tomorrow, but I'll be something. I've got plenty of headgear and plenty of glasses and all that sort of thing. So we're going to have lots of fun in the run up to Christmas and beyond, of course. So anybody going to tell me who their favourite comedians are? Beautiful. Yes, it's another one of those pound items from Poundland. Poundland is one of my favourite places, and I was having issues with lights from Poundland, and they didn't work, and then I got them to work, and then before the broadcast, now I can't get them to work again. So I bet you the minute the broadcast finishes and I try them again, I bet the lights will come on. So there we go. So let's just do a bit of butterfly whispers. I didn't do it last night because I ran on a long time on my broadcast last night. Tommy Cooper, yes, just like that. And he had, that reminds me of my dad, Margaret. So many triggers to remembering my dad. There's my dad. Look, there he is up there, sits with us and watches over us. And you could blame him for my wicked sense of humour. And Tommy Cooper, of course, had a red fez, didn't he? And my dad had a fez. In fact, my gran bought it back when she was on a world cruise. She bought it back from abroad, from the fez place. Where'd you get the fezes from? Just remind me, because I'm having a mental block again. But anyway, the fez was a proper fez. It wasn't from a party shop. It was a real one. And we used to have we used to have parties. We lived in a big Victorian house when I was growing up, and we would have big parties with party games and things. So about 50 people would come round. Boxing Day, I think Boxing Day we used to have one, and we'd have sometimes in the summer. And my dad would run all the party games. And my dad, he wasn't very tall, and he used to stand on a chair and put his fez on, and said when he got his fez on, you had to listen to him. But of course, nobody ever did listen to him. He was the butt of everybody's joke. But he was a comedian himself. He knew when to be serious. But I do get my wicked sense of humour from him. And so many times, like that, when you just said Tommy Cooper, Margaret, it reminds me of my dad. There are triggers every day that remind me of all the happy times that we had growing up and beyond. Even right up till I was almost 60. My dad died when just before my 60th birthday, and so many memories, memory after memory, and there's just so many things that trigger it. Even a little. I've told this story before, but when there's a bush down the road, like a hedge, and I go past it on the way to the bus stop, and in the oh, excuse me, sorry. And it's I don't know if it's a privet. It's got a really lovely smell to it, and it's got the ones that has the little white balls on it, and it had the blossom was just coming on it, and I walked past, and a piece of blossom just flew off and flew down onto it was not Lilac Lil, it was a predecessor, the previous shopping trolley that wasn't, the predecessor to Lilac Lil. And it was just a reminder of my dad, because it was the smell of the hedge reminded me of our garden back home. And it also reminded me, my dad, he used to get mad because I said it had a little white balls on it. We used to put them down on the front path and stand on them and pop them, and of course it made a mess, didn't it? And he used to pretend to be mad. I don't think he was really mad, but he used to try and pretend that he was cross. So anyway, so just lovely things like that. So things that you say, things that happen out there, just triggering all those lovely memories of my dad. And my dad, I mean, My dad would probably be wearing these sort of things now if he was around. He might even be wearing them wherever he is. He'd probably have bells on his. Mine hasn't got a bell on it, but I could always put a bell on it, couldn't I? Same to you with bells on. That's a phrase he used to use as well. So anyway, let's just wind up now because it is getting late, and I do appreciate you coming in, but I mustn't keep you too late. And so 24th of November, my sister's 70th birthday, my son's 43rd birthday, and birthday week for lots of people. As I say, Janet, Jackie had a birthday yesterday. Lots of people had birthdays yesterday. I could hardly keep up with all the singing. That's probably why I'm having a coffee, because I've done lots of happy birthday singing. We are never given a wish without being given the power to make it happen. I love this quote. It makes me feel better about adversity to know I've only been given it because I am strong enough to cope with it. So instead of thinking it's just one thing after another, nothing is going right for me, I think I wouldn't have been given that if I wasn't strong enough to cope. So in fact, it's a compliment. The more adversity I face, the stronger I must be. This is a lot easier to cope with. So if we are given the opportunity to wish for something, we must believe we have the power to turn that wish into a reality. So there you go. That's the reading for the 24th. And plans for tomorrow? Not quite sure. I may go out, I may not. I think I'm seeing Jackie quickly in the morning before she goes on her merry way back to the North Isle. But it was lovely meeting you in person, Jackie, and hopefully you'll be back fairly soon, and hopefully next time you come back you'll be well all weekend. So hope you're feeling much better for your journey home. I haven't really made a plan for tomorrow. I'm not going to make a plan for tomorrow just yet. I'll see. I may stay and do some knitting, and I really, really need to do this tidying up. I have done housework this week, so I've been quite good. But this bit over here, this side of me, it really needs doing. So anyway, I might even do a little bit of it now just to make sure that I've started it. I've started, so I'll finish. Isn't that what they say in University Challenge? I think so. Anyway, that's something my dad used to watch too. I'm going to love you and leave you. And see you all in another broadcast very soon. If you enjoy what we do here, then please share it with other people. The community is growing bigger and bigger every day. New people coming in and liking the channel every week. I think we've got about 15, 16 new people liking the page at the moment. Night. And so yes, and anybody who wants things shared, please let me know. And if you can give me links to posters and event pages, it makes it just that much more easy. But there's so much going on, so let's share it all as we can. And I'll share some of it once, either that page comes back up or I'll do it on here. Bye for now, everybody. See you all soon.